Alright guys, it's Rabea, hope you're all well. So I thought in this video I'd do a high gain pedal shootout, basically because I've got a few pretty good ones, pretty high spec ones, and I thought it'd be a nice thing to do for you guys if you're in the market for a new drive pedal. So I've chosen three, and they go up in price. So the three that I've chosen, the Wampler Jarus, which is the distortion pedal they brought out earlier in the year, and it was collaborated on with Ola England, which is really cool. It's a full-on dirty drive pedal, really good for chugging. Next in line we've got the Keeley Filament pedal, which is like a stack pedal, so essentially it allows you to dial in a really high gain stack sort of tone, and you've got a couple of cool nice features on there, different switching and different controls that can really dial in something specific if you need it to. And then also last in the chain I've got the Strymon Riverside, which is their multi-stage drive pedal. So as you guys may be aware, this pedal is really quite high specs, probably the most expensive in the range that I've chosen, and the way it works is you've got cascading gain stages on your top left drive control. As you can see, goes in 4 different stages, and it cascades every time, so you can get some really intense high gain tones if you need to. It's got a built-in gate as well that you can access if you hold down both buttons and turn the power on. You can get a gate going there. All the pedals that I've chosen here are good in terms of their controls, so you've got a couple of different switches on each one that can change the characteristic of the pedal. I've dialed in tones that I think sound quite similar across the three, and we can go between them all, and then we'll just mess around and see which one's sort of the most versatile in terms of tone shaping. So yeah, I'm using my PRS Paul's guitar, running into a Victory V50 on a clean channel, and I'm capturing it all with my Universal Audio Apollo 8P interface, recording in Logic, and I'm using some speaker impulses that, again, I'll mention as soon as I can. Okay, here's the clean guitar sound. Here we go, here's the Guitarist. Yeah man, the Jarus, it's a fat sounding pedal. I always like the rich fat attack that it has. Really fat, and it's really enjoyable to play, very forgiving, so I enjoy that a lot. Okay, moving on, here's the Filaments, clean again. Filaments. I think the Filaments definitely gives you more scope in the higher end, because the Jarus has actually got quite a bit of treble in, as you can see on the GoPro, but the Filaments is way brighter. So let's go between the two. And obviously I've dialed in the tone that I think sounds similar in terms of the sort of saturation and feel, but yeah, the Filaments is definitely brighter. Anyway, let's move on to the Riverside. Here's a clean tone, and the Riverside going in. Okay, so listening to the Riverside, I think it's kind of a blend of the two because it's darker than the Filaments, but it's brighter than the Dracaris. And again, these are just tones that I've tried to match on the fly. I would say that I think the Riverside feels the best. It definitely feels the most comfortable to play in terms of the response of the distortion. And the cool thing is that, of course, these three in particular are a great example of the thing I like most in a drive pedal is when you put it in front of a clean signal, you really don't want to hear that clean signal underneath a layer of a distortion the pedal's providing, because I think that's really bad and I don't think it's very nice, and a lot of pedals do that, so I always watch out for that. Whereas these three, when you turn them on, you forget that there's a clean signal that you're putting it in front of, which I think is fantastic. So now that we've heard all three individually, I want to go through them one after one in quick succession. So I'm going to play a riff and we'll hear all three back to back. So Dracaris, Filaments, and the Riverside. So straight away for me, I think the Riverside has more sort of definition, but it's retaining the fatness. The Dracaris is providing that fat, really powerful chugging sound with a smooth attack, and the Filaments is more articulate. It's a bit brighter, a little bit harsher, but in fairness to it, most of the controls are around 12 o'clock, whereas the others have had to dial in a bit differently. So it's quite impressive, but all in all, they all sound really good. And I think, to be fair, the Riverside is a lot more expensive, $289.99, whereas the Filaments is $189.99, and the Dracaris is $199.99. Those are all sort of the average kind of prices. I've found them on the internet, so I'll put links in the description box below for all the pedals. But I suppose to round this video off, because I didn't want it to be too long, in terms of versatility, I would say that the Riverside probably wins because you've got low and high gain modes, because you've got a cascading gain stage and a responsive EQ in that when you're bringing up the middle, the treble and bass are supporting that. It's not just middle that goes up, for example. But then again, you're paying for that. You're paying for that premium quality of sound. It is worth pointing out though that the Riverside has an analog JFET straight in when you plug into it, but it is a digital it's a processor that provides that sort of clipping stage, or all that kind of drive, and the cascading gain stages are happening digitally, whereas the Filaments and the Dracaris are actually analog pedals, so they're nowhere near as advanced on a technological level. Not to discredit them, it's just different build types. But again, that's what you pay for. So with the Riverside, it's more expensive. In any case, we can go around in circles. Let me know which one you think sounded the best. Put it in the comment section below. I'll put links in the description box below for these pedals. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all very soon.